Before anything else, leave a like right now because it helps the video reach more Manchester City fans. Subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed yet, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any important citizens updates. Because what's been happening behind the scenes at the club over the last few hours could directly impact the direction of the season, both in the Premier League and in the Champions League. The news landed like a bomb among Manchester City supporters. Pep Guardiola confirmed a worrying update on Jeremy Doku's physical condition right on the eve of a brutal away clash against Tottenham, and the timing could not be worse. Doku had been one of the team's main attacking engines in this moment of response, especially after a turbulent spell marked by painful defeats and performances below the standard expected from a squad of this level. City know that playing Tottenham is often a trap. It's a difficult stadium, an opponent that grows in these matchups, and a scenario that demands maximum intensity. Losing a player like Doku right now affects the entire attacking structure. It's not just a one-off absence, it's the loss of a profile that isn't easily replaced within the squad. Jeremy Doku had been central to Pep Guardiola's attempt to bring aggression back into the attack. After the defeats to Manchester United and Bodo Glimt, the internal message started demanding more verticality, more bravery in 1v1 situations, and more presence in the final meters of the pitch. And Doku delivered exactly that: pure pace, a change of rhythm, the courage to take defenders on, and the ability to break down deep blocks, something City had been missing badly. Even in the win against Wolves, it was clear Pep wanted more. The result came, but the manager wasn't satisfied. He demanded more fluency, more coordinated movement, and more efficiency in the final third. In that context, Doku was becoming almost indispensable, not just because of numbers, but because of the visual and psychological impact he has on opponents. Defenses drop a few yards simply because he's on the pitch. In the Champions League against Galatasaray, that became even more obvious. Manchester City played with a far more confident and aggressive posture. The ball circulation was quicker, the off-ball movement smarter, and the occupation of spaces more efficient. And Doku, even operating in more central areas than usual, was one of the main reasons for it. He didn't stay stuck out wide. He drifted, appeared between the lines, pulled markers, and opened spaces for teammates. His influence was direct in both goals. In the first, the perfectly timed pass to Erling Haaland ended a drought that was starting to generate outside noise. In the second, Doku stayed calm in the decisive moment and set up the teammate who finished to extend the lead, sealing a vital win. That win, by the way, carried huge weight. Finishing the phase among the top 8 was a strategic objective. Avoiding a playoff in February meant less physical wear, less injury risk, and more room to manage the squad in an already packed calendar. After the unexpected slip in Norway, the pressure rose, and City responded with maturity at the Etihad. But the good news came with bad news. Just before halftime, Doku had to leave the pitch. His body language was already worrying, and after the match, Pep Guardiola confirmed what nobody wanted to hear. The Belgian felt his calf. It wasn't just a mild knock. It was something that required caution. Guardiola was direct in explaining the situation. According to him, Doku had been dealing with small muscular issues precisely because of his extremely explosive style of play. Constant sprints, sharp changes of direction, maximum acceleration in tight spaces. All of that takes a toll on the body, especially in an intense run of matches. Pep made it clear that right now, the most important thing is time. Forcing a return could turn a short-term issue into something much more serious. That's why the expectation is that Doku will miss the clash against Tottenham. A tough call, but one that makes sense when you look at the rest of the season. Doku's absence changes City's shape significantly. Without him, the team loses depth, loses unpredictability, and finds it even harder against compact blocks. Doku has become one of the team's main escape valves, especially when the match gets stuck in midfield. Pep acknowledged that publicly. He called Doku an extremely important player, highlighted the creativity and constant threat he provides. With the title race completely open, every detail matters. Every match is decisive, and losing a piece like that weighs heavily. The internal hope is that it's a short-term problem. If Doku can return by March, he could still play a huge role in deciding the season, both in the Premier League and in the Champions League, where the fixtures become even more demanding physically and mentally. In the meantime, City have to adapt. There are options in the squad, and the tendency is that Antoine Semenyo will get more minutes out wide to provide direct threat. It's not the same profile. It doesn't deliver exactly the same characteristics, but it is a possible solution within what the squad offers today. The big question is how the team will respond without one of its main attacking weapons in such a delicate match. The Tottenham game often exposes weaknesses, tests concentration, and demands individual solutions in moments of pressure. And now, Manchester City fan, I'll ask you, how much will Jeremy Doku be missed in this specific game against Tottenham? Can City keep the same attacking level without him, or could this absence cost vital points in the title race? Answer in the comments, because your opinion really helps to understand how the fan base feels in this decisive moment of the season. The discussion around Jeremy Doku hasn't even cooled down, and another topic has started gaining traction behind the scenes at Manchester City, this time involving a heavyweight name, experienced, and with a significant history at the club. John Stones may be living his final days at the Etihad, and the most surprising part isn't only the possibility of leaving, but the destination that is starting to pick up in rumors, a return to Everton, still in this window. At first glance, it sounds strange to imagine John Stones leaving City in January, especially for a club fighting in a different reality on the table. But when you analyze the context more calmly, the scenario starts to make sense. Everton have been in the market for weeks looking for defensive reinforcements. Recent performances have exposed weaknesses, especially in home matches, where the team have struggled to maintain consistency and emotional control. The defeat to Leeds was another chapter in a worrying sequence. Positional errors, a lack of leadership in the back line, and difficulty dealing with a high press. David Moyes has made it clear internally that he needs someone who organizes the defense, who communicates, who reads the game before danger turns into a clear chance. And that's where John Stones' name reappears strongly. Stones knows Everton like few others. It was there he took his first big steps in the Premier League, before becoming one of the most technical centre-backs in English football under Pep Guardiola. At City, he won everything there was to win: domestic titles, historic Champions League campaigns, and seasons where he redefined the role of the modern defender. Comfortable on the ball and intelligent without it. The problem is that the landscape has changed. City's squad has been refreshed, new pieces have arrived, and the competition has increased brutally. The signing of Marc Guéhi intensified the battle for minutes even further. When everyone is available, it becomes harder and harder to see where John Stones fits regularly. He has gone from a central piece to a situational option, something delicate for a player of this level and experience. For City, the logic starts to become pragmatic. Stones has already delivered more than enough sporting return. His symbolic value is huge, but the club also thinks about renewal, squad management, and opening space. Accepting a more modest transfer fee doesn't sound absurd within that reasoning. It's almost an acknowledgement that a cycle has been completed. That reading was reinforced by Brian King, former Everton scout, who publicly suggested this move could happen for an accessible amount. It wouldn't be a long negotiation full of obstacles. It would be a quick solution for two sides that need to solve different issues, but compatible ones. From Everton's point of view, signing Stones would be massive, not only technically, but mentally. This is a player who has lived finals, decisive moments, matches under maximum pressure, someone who steps onto the pitch without panicking when the opponent grows into the game. Exactly the kind of profile a team needs when, in many moments, it seems to feel the weight of the match. For Stones, playing time matters a lot. At this stage of his career, sitting on the bench and coming in sporadically doesn't help. He needs to be on the pitch. He needs rhythm. He needs to feel like a protagonist again. Everton could offer that almost immediately, as well as an environment where he is already known and respected. That's why, despite the initial shock, this rumor is starting to sound more and more plausible. It wouldn't be an impulsive move, but a calculated decision. City reshaped the squad, Everton gained leadership, and Stones finds minutes and responsibility again. While that situation unfolds, another move is happening away from the spotlight, but it is equally important for the club's future. Manchester City are advancing on a loan for one of their most promising young defenders, Stephen Funi, as part of the academy development strategy. Breaking into City's first-team defense today is one of the hardest tasks in European football. The competition is brutal, the level of demand is extremely high, and the margin for error is minimal. Even highly rated players end up with few opportunities if they remain only training with the senior squad. That's why the club see loans as an essential bridge. It's not about getting rid of the player, but placing him in an environment where he can make mistakes, learn, compete, and truly develop. And in that sense, the championship looks like an almost perfect laboratory. It's a physical, intense league with matches week after week, different attacking styles, and little room for distraction. For a young center back, that accelerates maturity. It forces quicker decision-making, improves defensive reading, and strengthens the mental side. City have already benefited from this approach in the past. Players like Taylor Harwood-Bellis and Max Allen went through similar experiences and came back far more ready for the elite level. With Stephen Funi, the idea is exactly the same. According to information attributed to Alan Nixon, City are actively working to send him on loan to a championship club with a compatible playing identity. It's not any destination. The club demand an organized system, building from the back and tactical responsibility to ease future adaptation. Sheffield Wednesday emerges as a concrete option. There, Funi would have strong chances to play regularly, face experienced forwards, and grow within a competitive context. For City, it's a quiet investment, but extremely valuable in the long term. All of this shows how Manchester City operate on several fronts at the same time. While dealing with important injuries like Jeremy Doku's, they evaluate delicate decisions involving established names like John Stones and, at the same time, carefully plan the development of young talents. It's a constant balance between present and future, winning now without compromising tomorrow. And every decision taken in this moment can have direct effects on the decisive months that are coming. If you want to keep following all these moves, analyses, and real-time updates about Manchester City, leave a like on the video now because it helps massively, subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed yet, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any important citizens' news.